process as part of our government selection of president. Today, we have Professor and Executive Director of the Denton County Democratic Party, Travis Cooper.
Hi.
And he's going to talk with us about what the electoral process means, because he has all of that information. And here's the thing, Travis. Being the Executive Director of the Denton County Democratic Party, also being a political science professor at Tarrant County Community College, is that where you're at?
Correct, yeah, in the southeast campus.
Okay. That means that it must have hurt, and you understand why, more than the average person. So we're gonna talk about that today. But first, briefly, tell the audience a little bit about yourself so they can understand what type of background you have and why you understand all of this.
Okay, yeah, I went to Texas Women's University here in Denton for my bachelor's and master's in government. I teach American government and Texas government for Tarrant County Community College for their dual credit program at the Arlington and Mansfield high schools, actually. So I get to teach how the process works to people right before they get to join the process and get the vote. So it's pretty fun. And I've been working with the Democratic Party. I helped on the President Obama's campaign in 2008 for Tarrant County, and then I've been with the Democratic Party in Denton County for, since 2014 now, just after the Wendy Davis campaign. But yeah, actually, as far as the voting and electoral college, that's something that I like to actually really emphasize, especially during this semester, during the election years,
Right.
when I have them at 18 and get them in my.
Well, I bet this year proved to be a great year for you to have that discussion with those who were about to join the process. Did you have any in your class who had turned 18 or were eligible to vote and participated?
Yeah, actually, it was the first year that several of my dual credit high school kids were able to vote. It was their first time, and so it was interesting to hear kind of a fresh perspective, one that's kind of hasn't been tainted yet by partisan politics and by the drudge of working in all these elections. So that part was fun. It was a little stressful talking about the content of this election with kids in high school. That was a little upsetting and disappointing, and I know it was for a lot of other teachers.
Well, when you mean the content, do you mean what both the candidates were discussing, or what became more the focal point?
It was what was the focal point. We never got to talk about policy, so I had to bring the policy to my students, because every time I got a chance to start bringing up policy, Donald Trump said something again, right? Because we get a little bit of policy after debate, and then the videos come out with the horrible things Donald Trump says. And I have to go and talk to 16, 17, 18-year-old kids about kind of the circus around the campaign, when really, other elections we got to talk about. When Barack Obama and Mitt Romney ran against each other, it was easy. We can come in, we can debate both sides, we can talk about the arguments, we can say, what do you think is the best way to handle healthcare? Which candidate do you think would best handle immigration? We got to talk about that.
And in fact, in that election, Barack Obama actually told the American people that this is a referendum on what you think about the affordable health care. So they were talking policy, they were debating policy.
Yes.
And
both
they
sides.
went, both sides were. And so it came down to listening to those particular issues. And of course, this election, it came down to character versus character. I would say character in both camps is kind of how I looked at it. But how did your students feel on that Wednesday?
My first class coming in on that Wednesday was difficult. I had a student who is Muslim ask me if she was going to get deported now. She's born in Arlington.
Right.
And she asked me, am I going to be deported now? And I tell her, well, no, you're fine. She's like,